and spectacularly describes the performance of Steve Avery last year against the Pirates when he was the NLCS Most Valuable Player. First pitch of game 2 from Steve Avery. Well hit to left by Reedus, but Ron Gant is there to make the catch.
You saw Ron Gant make the catch.
With the Atlanta Braves out of high school. Ball 4. Bell walks on 5 pitches. Jay walked once last night as well.
First base. One of the few things that he doesn't do well.
Tap down to first. Brian Hunter puts the tag on Van Slyke for the second out of the inning.
Had Hunter allowed that ball to roll, I think the ball would have trickled foul.
The subdued nature of the crowd last night. Our cry from a year ago, but they're roaring now as Bonds is called out on strikes to end the inning. His 30-year-old left-hander Danny Jackson.
Jim Leyland had a choice between Randy Tomlin and Danny Jackson, and he chose Danny Jackson because of postseason experience.
Change speeds and work fast. And that's ball 4. So the lead man is on for Atlanta in a scoreless ball game in the bottom of the first. You might recall that Orel Hershiser said last night, when you walk Otis Nixon, it's like throwing him a double. Another pop-up, this one in shallow right field. McClendon, battling the tough Sky, made the catch for the first out of the inning. It's also a little bit of a breeze in this greatest free agent acquisition in the history of baseball. The runner is on the move. Chopped over the mound and charged by Bell, who gets him by a running step. Nice play by the dependable Jay Bell, and on the play, Nixon moved into scoring position with 2 outs.
Jackson fastball, and Justice is in the hole, 1-2.
Off the end of the bat, a dribbler down to third, and King throws him out. Required a good stretch by Reedus. After 1 in Atlanta, there is no score. Bond struck out. To short. Blauser knocked it down and threw him out. Nice play on the one hopper by Jeff Blauser. This afternoon's ball game. He's pretty well always that way anyway. Another well-hit ball. Blauser couldn't get that one. And Lloyd McClendon has the first hit of the ball game. A single to center field with 1 out in the second.
Because the speed of the runner at first is not the determining factor on a hit and run.
Well hit to left. Back to the wall. Gant up against the wall. He makes the catch. And back to first goes Lloyd McClendon. And then to hit one in the postseason, that honor belongs to Jose Lean. I'll remember the home run by Tom Lawless as well. The strikeout ends the inning after an inning and a half, no score. See it 239 during the regular season with 14 homers. That's a fair ball and a great diving stop by Jeff King. The throw off the bag, and Reedus couldn't play it. And Hunter is safe. Reedus thought that perhaps he had turned the wrong way, but he did not. It was a great play by King to save a double.
Heard Tommy Glavine.
Were not for the injury, Glavine would have wanted it a walk. There's ball 4. Speaking of walks, Gant walks, the second thrown by Jackson. And the Braves threaten with first and second and nobody out in the second inning. In the hole, a hit. The runner is being waved in. Hunter on his way to the plate. The throw is way off the mark. Dropped by Slot. 1 run in, and runners at second and third.
by Barry Bonds.
As a result, 2 men in scoring position, and Mark Lemke has another base hit. Gant has scored. Berryhill was held at third, and it's 2-0 Atlanta. Mark Lemke now 3 for 4 in the National League Championship Series.
But Berryhill very tentative at third base.
He's a very slow runner. Avery swings away, and there's a deep drive to center. Van Slyke on the run. Makes a terrific catch. Berryhill can walk in. And the Braves lead 3-0.
The black background, and it's very difficult to see.
Van Slyke with a long way to come, but he's there to make the catch for the second out of the inning. They continue to creep out toward the pitcher's mound. No problem for Blauser. That's toward the gap in right center and in. Lemke is being waved in. Lemke will score as Blauser goes into third with a triple. 4-0 Atlanta.
Talk about the offense, but the Pittsburgh Pirates, we mentioned in the opener, the starters possibly.
Down to first. Reedus shovels off to Mason to end the inning. 4 runs for Atlanta in the second, and after 2, the Braves are on top 4-0. Bob Walk is throwing in the Pirate bullpen. Strike 3. Wainer called out on strikes. Bob Walk will be the new pitcher for Pittsburgh when the Braves come up in the bottom of the third. We're in the National League Championship Series for consecutive scoreless innings. Reedus with a harmless fly ball to center. Otis Nixon the catch, 2 away. And now Steve Avery holds the championship series record for either league for consecutive scoreless innings, 18 1/3. The 1-1 pitch in the hole. Blauser gobbles it up and makes the long throw to get Jay Bell. The Pirates go in order and will return to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. And at the center of the diamond, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, a man who calls himself the utility pitcher. He'll do anything for this Pirates staff, Bob Walk. Check swing. Strike 3. Jerry Davis rings up David Justice, and the Braves do not argue as Justice he thought about stopping, but his body wouldn't let him do it. 3-2 pitch. He struck him out with the fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bob Walk here in the third.
Bob Walk, a starter.
Walk has fallen behind Gant, 3-1. Soft line drive handled by Lean, and the Braves go in order for the first time this afternoon. After 3, 4-0 Atlanta. A bit more blasé attitude. Well, they seem determined to get back to where they were last year based on a lot of the comments we heard from fans coming in today. Justice under it, and Van Slyke is 0 for 2, now 1 for 6 in the series.
Sean, I think a lot of that is their expectations of getting to the series.
A pop-up. Lemke fighting the sun. Makes the catch. Bonds 0 for 5 in the 2 ball games.
Once they get beyond the mound, then it becomes easier for the hitters to hit.
Otis Nixon drifts in center. 1, 2, 3 go the Pirates. After 3.5, the Braves 4 and the Pirates nothing. The 2-2 pitch. Barry Bonds makes the catch. 1 out. Let's join Jim Gray.
All right, Sean, thank you very much.
John Schuerholz had to say, and I would agree with him, certainly this issue of Dion playing football on Sunday has received a lot of attention, especially considering that in this series for the Braves he is likely to appear only as a pinch runner, perhaps for late inning defense, but he really doesn't factor in as one of the key players in this series. More money, we're talking about millions more in his shoe deal if he plays both. Avery called out on strikes, and Walk works another 1-2-3 inning. He has faced 6 batters and struck out 4 of them. Pretty well hit. Otis Nixon, just in front of the warning track, makes the catch. Along the Rivers.
Be the young knuckleballer Tim Wakefield, 8-1 on the year against Tommy Glavine, last year's Cy Young Award winner.
Don Slott has a hit, just the second for the Pirates, and that ends Avery's string. He had retired 9 in a row before the single to right by Slott. One of the other factors involved in moving Wakefield back to Game 3, in addition to the sight lines here at Atlanta Stadium. Nice play, but not a double play. Lemke and Blauser almost turned. Bob hit just 0-93 during the regular season. He's 4 for 43, and that's down to third. Pendleton will go to first to end the inning. Halfway through Game 2, the Braves on top, 4-0. As a pitcher, Wakefield did the same. 3-2 pitch, slapped into left field for a hit. That's the 5th hit for the Atlanta Braves. The other 4 all came in the second inning when they scored their 4 runs. Nixon running with the first pitch. It's a ball. Slott's throw gets away from Lean. Not very far, and Bell backed it up. Otis Nixon has a stolen base, his second of the league championship series.
That was a strategy last night employed by Bobby Cox.
Blauser walks. Then he indicated a bunt try, but took the bat back as Walk missed. It's the first walk is thrown. First and second, and nobody out for the meat of the order. Off the glove of Walk. Lean has to go to first for the first out of the inning. 1-4-3 the scoring on that play. Now 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out.
Lonnie Smith is his #1 pinch hitter, and Bobby Cox trying to blow it open right here.
Speaking of chess games, I know you've been following with great interest, Tim, the big match between Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky. How's that going? Payoff pitch. Popped up. It was a breaking ball, not deep enough to score the run, one would think. McClendon the catch, and they won't try to score. Throw right to Slott on the fly. Nixon wisely elected remained at third base. He's there with 2 outs now. The base is still loaded.
This is a very dangerous situation for Walk. He's got to come in with a fastball and Gann a fastball hitter.
Deep to left. There's Ron Gant's first ever grand slam.
Also said even though he batted .333 with the bases loaded, he had never hit a grand slam, and he saves postseason to do it.
Berryhill broke his bat, then it's a base hit. The barrel of the bat wound up between the pitcher's mound and first base. She was alongside Ted Turner and Jane Fonda. Randy Tomlin, the fourth pitcher. And hit the slam, then Barry Hill singled, and that knocked Walk out after 2 2/3 innings. Lemke has another hit. He's 2 for 3 again today, 4 for 6 in the 2 games in the LCS. And now the Braves have batted around here in the 5th inning. Avery had it knocked down by Tomlin. Bell shoveled the lead to end the inning. But what an inning it was in Atlanta. Highlighted by the grand slam by Ron Gant, and will return to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium after this word from your local station. And Rafael Belliard is at shortstop. And Belliard tested immediately, equal to the task, catching the line drive off the bat of Gary Reedus for the first out of the 6th. Belliard again. 2 down. At the conclusion of today's game, Tim McCarver and I will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game. But Van Slyke's average won't on that fly ball to center, handled by Nixon. A very easy 1-2-3 inning for Steve Avery, who has now pitched 22 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings in League Championship Series play. And relaxing at the moment, comfortably ahead in this one, 8-0. Belliard in his first at bat tries kick again. 2 down. Phil Mendoza has been working as a batting coach in, I think it's the California Angels organization.
I think Palm Springs, California.
Pendleton dumped a single in the center with 2 outs.
When you think about it, there are a lot of lines. The Maginot, the Siegfried.
That's ball 4, and the Braves try to put something together with 2 outs. Pendleton was running with a 3-2 pitch. It's the first walk thrown by Tomlin.
Beat the Oakland Athletics in 4 games in the World Series.
Lane throws him out, and the Braves strand 2. After 6, Atlanta 8 and Pittsburgh nothing. There it is, his first hit of the series. Cut off by Nixon, who got it back in very quickly to hold Bonds to a single. Let's check in with Jim Gray.
All right, I'm with Pirate General Manager.
If they're on, they can be very difficult for any hitter.
Could you have ever anticipated this type of domination?
Well, I don't see it as, over yet. Maybe last night's ball game, and might think today's is, but there's still games to play, and I don't think it's over yet.
What will be the major difference going back to Pittsburgh?
That had been successful the last couple of years, and if they went down, he'd get some of the blame, but if they went up, he wouldn't get much of the credit. McClendon into the gap. This should score Bonds. It will. The Pirates are on the board, and Steve Avery's consecutive scoreless inning streak in League Championship Series play is over. It goes into the books at 22 1/3 innings. And that's ball 4, clearly outside. So the Pirates are trying to scratch back into this one. They're down 8-1, but they have 2 men on with 1 out in the 7th inning.
Huge Notre Dame fan, and very dismayed at Bill Walsh's Stanford team beating them this past weekend.
Leaned with a hit. Beyond the reach of Gant. Here come the Pirates trying to get right back into this one. Lean to third, his 2-run score, and all of a sudden it's 8-3. As Ted Simmons said, don't write off the Pirates just yet. Batting for the pitcher, Tomlin. The 1-strike pitch gets away, and here comes Lean. He is safe, and it's 8-4. leaned only at 15 extra base hits during the regular season in 135 games. He had.
Blauser ended up walking. They loaded him up. Gant hit the home run, and that's the difference in this ball game. The grand slammer by Gant.
And Espy keeps it going with a pinch hit single to right field. And now the crowd grows restless and a bit concerned. Still only one out in the inning. Is batting for Gary Reedus.
Freeman 7-5, 58 appearances.
And a much better hitter this year, left-handed. Foul tipped into the middle of Berryhill for strike 3. That's the second out of the inning.
Pitch was out of the strike zone. Merced tries to hold up. And if Bell gets on, there's no way that Bobby Cox allows Freeman to pitch to Van Slyke with 2 on.
And Bell is on with a base hit off the glove of Pendleton. Espy on his way to third. The throw wisely comes into second. And all of a sudden, the tying run is in the on-deck circle for the Pittsburgh Pirates. This inning, it's now 8-4, and the Pirates have men at first and third with 2 outs. Mike Stanton becomes the third Atlanta pitcher of the ballgame. Tim, he was throwing hard last night. Back to the mound. Stanton throws him out. The Pirates get 4. And at the 7th inning stretch, it's the Braves 8 and the Pirates 4. To this point, the grand slam in the 5th inning. He has another hit. He's on base for the 3rd time today. He's 2 for 3. The time, it looked like to right field, and room for McClendon. Back to first goes Gant, the tag, but he won't try it. Tim, with all of the attention on Barry Bonds, and certainly as the acknowledged best player in the game, you expect that kind of attention. Well, what do you know? Lemke is going to make it out. Pop-up. Mark now 2 for 4 today. 4 for 7 in the series.
Bonds is playing deep third.
Yes, he is. And playing in exactly the right spot, but he can't get it, and it gets by him. Gant being waved in. Bonds with the throw to the plate. It's not in time. 9-4 Atlanta.
Maybe too deep.
With 2 outs, the runners will be off with the pitch. They move as Belliard walks.
He makes a lot of adjustments depending on the count.
Down the left field line, it is a fair ball. Stanton has scored. Nixon's right behind him. Belliard stopped at third. It's a double for Pendleton.
And the Braves now lead 11-4.
Just as quickly as the Pirates got back into it, the Braves trying to put them away again. Justice line to right. That's a hit. Belliard scores. Pendleton coming on. He scores. It's 13-4. Matched the record for most runs in a league championship series game. Been done twice before. There's ball 4, and things have really come apart for Denny Nagel. It's the 3rd walk he has thrown in the inning. One of them was an intentional walk, and Jim Leland will come out to get him. 81, and by the Chicago Cubs against San Diego, October 2nd of 1984. The only time they got him out was on a line drive to the second baseman. Down the line, great backhand stop by King. And he gets Gant at first by a running step. They got 5, and it was nearly more. It would have been without this play by Jeff King.
Earlier in the game, so both pitching staffs having some problems with the mound.
Bonds walks on 4 pitches to start the inning. Well, the ground crew here deserves a lot of credit. About 10 days ago, there was a college football game. The 8th inning, the runner at first with nobody out. Barry Bonds aboard at first. Bream playing a little bit behind him. Breaking ball bounced slowly to the left side. Pendleton to first to get King. Again, the payoff pitch. It's ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning, and the Pirates try to put something together with 1 out. Bobby Cox lifted. Milt May, one of the Pirate coaches, alongside Jim Leland. Cross up there. Berryhill obviously wasn't expecting what he got from Wohlers, and the runners move up, both now in scoring position with 1 out.
Usually when there is a cross up, the catcher will go out and talk to the pitcher.
If there's anything that happened to them during the season.
Sure.
Pendleton, nice play to his left to throw out slot. Bonds scores. It's 13-5 Atlanta. And now there are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Game in '69. And the Orioles and Angels combined for 17 runs in 1979. Lane to short. Belliard to first. That ends the inning. 1 run across. Bottom of the 8th, 13-5 Atlanta.
Who leads the Pirates in saves will be the pitcher. He had 18 saves for the year. A double switch employed by Jim Leland.
Mark Lemke is on deck. It's 13-5 as the Braves bat on the bottom of the 8th. Alex Cole on the move makes the catch. Berryhill now 2 for 5. Carlos Garcia, the second baseman. This series has been an excellent adventure for Ted and Jane to this point. Oh, that's a familiar spot for the Braves. Bonds again was playing very shallow and over by the line, and even still, Lemke found room for his 3rd hit of the ball game and 5th in the series. When we go to the 9th inning, he was the only pitcher throwing in the Atlanta bullpen. Dion strikes out on 3 pitches. Well, will Dion play football on Sunday for the Falcons? It probably will continue to be a topic of conversation here in Atlanta. Nixon strikes out to end the inning. We go to the 9th. 13-5 Braves. Those numbers indicate he did a terrific job after coming over from the Boston Red Sox in a midseason trade. Justice the catch, 1 out. Our Chevrolet player of the game is Atlanta's Ron Gant, who
prevent a team from scoring. Van Slyke, Bonds, and Jeff King in the power positions. On the other hand, Terry Pendleton, David Justice.
When we spoke with Jim Leland before the game today, he was still pretty optimistic about his team's chances in this series. Dion started back and now in to make the catch. 2 down. But they're really going to need, you would think, first and foremost, a lift from that sellout crowd on Friday night.
And that's one thing. When you keep playing catch-up baseball, when you don't have many games to play, that is a very difficult way to win. And that's what the Pirates have been forced into in this series so far.
Van Slyke makes the final out. And perhaps that's fitting, indicative of the continuing struggle of the big 3 in the middle of the Pirate batting order. So the pressure falls squarely on the shoulders now of the man you just saw, Tim Wakefield.